maybe.
Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission to order. First item of business, approval of the January minutes of the meeting.
I make a motion that we approve them.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or concerns about the minutes? If not, any objection to unanimous approval? So approved. We'll move right along and we'll go to our parks report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Glad you made it out this cold weather. This last month has been kind of a variety of stuff. Building maintenance, a lot of little stuff. We did do some drywall repair at the park shop where the ceiling had leaked last year. The Babe Ruth building, we continue to work in there. However, it's been kind of on hold until we got our, well, it just came in, the wallboard to put inside. So everything's roughed in, the installation's done. It's just ready for wallboard, and then we can put the fixtures in. So hopefully next week when it's a little warmer, we'll try to get going on the Babe Ruth building. Of course, we continue to work on equipment, getting ready for the our next season, coming up season. Trucks and mowing equipment and skid steers and stuff like that, just getting it ready. Of course, had a little bit of snow removal. Of course, we had a little bit right before Beat the Bitter, and we had to deal with snow and Beat the Bitter. So, but it all worked out. Let's see. Tim and I, we attended it was an Iowa Workforce Development Seminar on January 27th. The topics of discussion were aimed at the practice of hiring seasonal employees, and the lack of good candidates, and how to adapt to changing times. So I know we're having to change things, adapt a little bit to get seasonal help. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, we won't have too much problem this year, but we did last year. But it sounds like everyone's having, issues trying to get employees to come on board. So if you're interested, it's on the website. You can, if you're interested in working landscaping, that'd probably be the main thing that we're going to be doing. You can apply online.
What were some of the adaptations you've had to make or that were suggested?
You have to be more flexible with your employees. That's kind of the big takeaway I took from it. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see how that's also difficult for the employer.
It's like they don't understand. They don't even understand why there's so many jobs, but yet there are so many unemployed people. They don't understand why. So
Standard 8 to 5 is not necessarily the norm anymore.
40 hours isn't the norm. It's like, I don't know. It's just a variety of things. So our job, unfortunately, it's outdoors. You can't work from your computer from home. A lot of people want to do that.
Oh.
So, but anyway, we'll see how the season goes, and we'll go from there. Let's see.
Oh, Guy, one other question.
Sure.
Did they discuss compensation? Do we feel like we're in the average for our size of a city?
They did talk about that. We are on the very low end of what they suggest we should be paying now.
Yeah.
What are they suggesting?
$15 is the bare minimum for pretty much anything. Bare minimum. Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah.
And what
Does
are
that
we?
work within the budget?
What's that?
Does that work within the budget?
5,
That's about, we're
1545.
1545, but
starting.
they pretty much frowned upon $15 an hour.
Yeah.
That was not a good offer. I don't know.
We're 45 cents higher, so we're
Exactly. Look at it.
we're right there. Yeah,
They're
we're
thinking. They were suggesting like the $20 an hour range, but
Did they just feel like that would lead to better quality candidates by offering better compensation?
candidates in general, I think.
Sure.
Yeah,
So do you, I mean, is it driver's license driven? Is it, I mean, what are the obstacles?
They really didn't have a good answer.
Yeah.
I mean, the
I
question
wonder if
was
they're still
asked.
doing like labor studies about what is going
Yeah,
on with this
yeah.
climate.
Yeah.
Is it like, so is it like post-COVID or is it COVID and post-COVID?
I think it has a little bit to do with that.
Just like a whole generational switch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fascinating.
Well, and it's everywhere. It's not just you.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
I've
are
also
really-
heard Iowa's kind of tapped out too for like we have so many people working that we're almost tapped out for like any more room for growth in that area too. I know I attended, this was like a year ago, I would say, but the Iowa State Outreach Extension talked about this. They have an indicators department. I can't remember exactly what the full name of it is. But they kind of talked about that Iowa workforce is just kind of tapped out too. And we have so many people working already. So I wonder if that was touched on or.
Like, wait, do
That'd
we
be
have a low
interesting to know.
unemployment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The type
They were
of
talking
work.
about the unemployment. Well, they also kind of touched base on the fraudulent claims during COVID, and that to watch out for that. If you have someone that, I guess this is a little more intuitive now, if we sign up or register with the Iowa workforce, let's say we have a candidate that keeps applying but never shows up for an interview. You have a way now to go on the website and report that name, and then they'll check it out. But they just have so many people to check out or to go through that that's the best way to do it. If you feel there's a person trying to snow the system over.
So even though they're on unemployment,
Yeah.
they're saying they're looking for a job, but they're
Yeah,
actually on.
They have to do a job
Because they have to do
search.
everything online
Yeah.
now. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think the one thing hard for the employers is, we're giving these people 15, 16, 17, 18, $20 an hour, but then there's full-time people that they're starting to catch up with that might be towards the bottom of their pay structure. So I think cities and other businesses, then they have to look at that and go, well, we're going to have to raise everybody up, and they just can't afford to do that either. So,
Well, and costs are going up.
yes.
I mean,
Yep.
I won't go into
Yeah.
in my life how things have just gone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Yep.
expensive.
Yes.
Well, we'll be hopeful and
Yeah.
keep plugging away.
We'll see how it
So
goes.
you
I'll
wanting
keep you
us to
informed.
apply?
Good weather.
I like to.
These are
weed.
good.
We'll need
Yeah.
20 an hour.
There you go.
I want to work 30 hours,
Right.
get paid for 40. And
On those lines, we did file with Kirkwood Parks and Natural Resource Horticultural Program. Our goal is to seek potential employees and internships with students for the upcoming season. We also submitted, I think it's through Handshake, seasonal with Iowa, UNI, Iowa State, Mount Mercy, and Cornell College. So students have the access to our job description and that. So hopefully we get a few candidates from that too. Other than that, Beat the Bitter was kind of I think it went over quite well. I think the attendance was down a little bit, probably because of the football game, but
And cold.
it was cold. It was
was really
definitely
cold.
Bitter.
yes. The ice skate rink we finally opened
Say that.
that day because it finally got cold enough. Fireworks were great, and yeah. Any questions?
No, I think, and maybe Shelley isn't tomorrow. Is it tomorrow night? That's free ice skating or teens,
Oh, for teens.
teens
Yep.
only or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rink is open. It is, and the lights are on every evening. So,
there were some hockey kids out there today, I heard.
was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. That's another good asset to the community. Something different to do. Get out. Maybe Shelley's going to talk about how you get your ice skates and get down there.
It was busy today.
That's all through the rec center. So that's
Well,
good.
I was getting worried that we wasted all our time putting up an ice rink and it wasn't going to get used.
Yeah.
So I'm happy it's getting used, to be honest with you.
Tiffin's lasted a week, so
Did it?
they were open like 1 week.
What happened?
They had some issue with the liner.
Uh,
It was like their second liner, and they're like,
Mm.
we're done. So.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna,
Well,
they're not gonna open it
No,
back
it's
up?
closed for the season. Yeah, it closed like a week ago or something
Great.
for the
Oh,
season.
that's too
Oh,
bad.
Yeah.
hopefully
Well-
it'll be cold enough now that this weekend, even though it's warmer, it'll be usable, you
Yeah,
know.
and they kind of do the same thing we do in Tiffin with a tennis court, and they have a warming house right there. I don't know if they.
Like a concession stand. I
Yeah,
think.
okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, we don't have permafrost to keep our rink cold or whatever here yet.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Guy? Anything else?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's busy during the winter. That's good. And spring will be here before we know it.
Just right around the corner. Yeah,
We're
we're
getting ready for that.
we are ordering supplies, and I mean, we're really trying to get geared up for it. So
That's good. Okay, we'll move along to Shelley with the rec center and rec report.
Good evening. January basically brings a lot of business to the rec center with New Year's resolutions. You can see through the report, weight fees and memberships were on the rise. We also have, Brian has the Youth Supreme basketball going on every Saturday and practically every gymnasium as well on Saturdays. So those are our two biggest things going on, let alone everything else. Ashley says the indoor pool has been busy, between our normal lap swimming, aqua classes, and swim lessons, but also there's been an influx with our Lucky Duck drop-in program for little kids just to come in and swim with parents. So usually that's a dead time of the day that we offer that, and she's been worried about not having enough staff to cover the numbers that have been coming in. So again, a lot of different things are taking place within the facility and going well. We did our first round for the custodial maintenance technician position, and we're unsuccessful at hiring somebody, so we reposted after the holidays, and it just closed applicants yesterday. So Mark, who moved up to the custodial supervisor position, and I will go through those and start interviews next week. We had 25 applicants, so there's a few that look promising, so we'll just set those interviews up and hopefully get somebody in there and be fully staffed now again, hopefully with our custodial position. We continue to search for more class instructors. Renee was one of our long-standing instructors that retired. And so a few new programs that we have going on is a HIT 30 or a total body recharge class. We have a beginner's yoga, integrative yoga, a high-low fitness class. And then coming up here in the month of February, starting I think next week, we have a coordination, balance, and strength class. So that kind of took place. Renee had a senior coordination balance class that was really taken off. And so I have another instructor that's interested in taking that class over. And so it's nice to have, since it started to have such a good following, to have that picked back up. And so that starts this month. And then working with Michelle, I can't think of the last name right this time, with Iowa City Senior Center. She's a program specialist. She is going to come in and do a walk with ease. It's part of our Arthritis Foundation class programming. But she's certified to teach this class, and that will start in March. And so a couple new classes coming on, Tai Chi and Jiu-Jitsu are two classes that are kind of fairly new that are slowly taking hold. But yeah, just trying to get more programming wherever we have time to submit them.
So that senior class in March, that'll be once a week?
3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay, during the day?
During the day, 9 a.m., 9 to 9:45, I believe, starting March 6th.
That's great for seniors.
Yeah, and it's free.
Yeah.
No
Do we have
cost.
any kind of transportation arranged that could help bring folks over? I
Not
wonder
at
if
this
some
point.
of the senior centers would transport folks. You might have a
Right at this point, like I said, I'm working with Michelle through Iowa City Senior Center. I'm looking through each participant, from my understanding, gets a booklet to take with them and to have outside of this class. Once this class, it's a 6-week class, but I'm looking at maybe either taking the class or taking instruction on how to lead the class for future, so we can keep it going year round.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So it's something I'll look into and try and figure out if we can pick it up and offer it more than just one 6-week class is what we have scheduled right now, and only for 15 people. So I think it would be popular, and it'd be nice to incorporate year round. So, and again, I'll talk with Michelle too to see how it goes. If she's interested in doing more, we'd work with and partner with them as well. So.
Renee had a class kind of during that same time period that she had quite a few people attend. So I'm assuming they're trying to hit the group that we already had plus some
Plus
more.
more.
So there is a group of them that used to come at that time.
And you bring up a good point about transportation. That's in the future
Yeah.
planning, city planning, and that type of thing. And I think recently seats, there's funding there that people on call or that qualify can get transportation within the city. But yeah, that is something that can affect our programming at some point when there's more readily transportation available in the city. And I've had a question. I think youth volleyball, we have that, and how young? Somebody asked me about youth volleyball.
I'll let Brian.
It's in the fall when we do flag football. We do them. It's like a 7-week program. It's part of the Supreme Leagues.
Was it? Yeah. And how old?
3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th graders.
Okay. I didn't remember enough to answer that question. Thanks.
Send them our way. We'll
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
answer them all.
I got a question about pickleball, and I told them that we had pickleball at the community center, that there was pickleball courts there. Was I okay?
Correct.
We have 6
Okay.
We have 6
There
courts
are.
at the rec center.
Yeah, because I said I thought the courts had been redone.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We have 6 courts.
Looking through all the other information, I don't know if you have any specific questions. The January start of swim lessons, we had approximately 290 participants in this session of swim lessons. A couple other new programs, the indoor soccer. I don't know if you want to touch on. That had 70 or 52 participants. That's kind of new.
Yep. Yeah, so that's our soccer guy that we have. He started an indoor league that he kind of runs, and the kids just come, and I think he just splits them up into teams each week. So they do that in Robert's gym on Tuesday nights. So that's something new we've added to the rec center.
However, sorry. The different class rates and different prices for everything, have they held, or do we always increase a little bit every year, or what's been the trend with that?
We've pretty much held constant. It's basically what the instructors want out of the class. A lot of our
Okay.
fitness, when it comes to fitness
classes?
yeah, those have been maintained just because it's up to the instructor.
Yeah.
They get 70% of the revenues, and if they want to increase, then it will get bumped up. But they've been pretty steady.
Have we had any changes, I should know this, but to our memberships over the years? I just thinking how things are getting more expensive. I wondered if we're also having to kind of do
Last
that.
year, when we last changed them.
I mean, our memberships are pretty
They're pretty reasonable.
but I mean, they're probably on the higher side of a normal like community center, rec center numbers when you're charging.
Mhm.
Because like a black and gold, which is pretty much everything for a family, is like over $1,100 or $1,000, and it's quite a bit. Like a lot of places, if you had the stuff we have, you might do 500 and get a lot more people in than $1,000 that some people are like, ooh, I don't want to spend that much. But I think we're in line. I think we're at a good number. But
I mean, do you also have to balance that with the building's capacity to hold people? I mean, or is it really just more like the cost of operations that keeps you at that particular tier?
of how much it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a number. It's something that Shelley came up with
Based-
kind of like
based
on a
like,
base of
coming
a,
3
yeah.
times per week
Hmm.
and paying a little bit less than what our normal daily fee is
Yeah.
to get, try and incentivize signing up either for the month versus paying the daily fee. And then the annual is pretty much even, I would say 50% of what if you paid the monthly price every month.
So that's really, yeah, that's
So
really
if
good.
if you really committed and stuff, and come at least 3 times a week, then the annual memberships are the best cost.
Yeah, that's
out there.
amazing. Plus, I mean, you're right there with the library. I mean, when you're hanging out, it's such a good deal.
Yeah.
Touching back on Supreme basketball, the big program on Saturdays, just I think in our database, I counted 474 participants just registering through North Liberty. That's not counting Coralville and Tiffin and
Because
their
basically,
teams.
basically how it's made up. So in North Liberty, every Saturday from 9 o'clock till about 6 o'clock, we have first and second grade boys and girls all the way, all day, that whole entire time in our 4 courts that we split up there. So there's just in North Liberty Rec Center, it's all first and second grade from Coralville, Tiffin, and North Liberty. And then in Tiffin, we have third and fourth girls at one site of one of their elementaries, and third and fourth boys at the other elementary in Tiffin. And then at Van Allen, we do boys basketball because we use the full court as they get older. So fifth and sixth grade is there. And fifth and sixth grade girls is at the Coralville Rec Center. So it's kind of spread out, and you kind of know when you sign up in first and second grade, you're probably going to be in North Liberty just because we have better seating and we have bleachers and stuff like that, where some of the other places have, not very far in the out of bounds, and you have chairs, and the younger kids, there's always way more grandparents and people like that coming.
You lose interest.
Yes, we lose interest, and the numbers start to go down as they start going and doing other things. But yeah, so that's kind of how it's broke out between the communities, kind of sharing this program. We take care of North Liberty, Coralville takes care of Van Allen and the Coralville Rec Center, and Tiffin takes care of the 2 facilities there. So, and we have site supervisors and referees and all that stuff. Now at first and second grade, we don't have referees, but everything else we do. And I coach basketball at the high school, so I got a lot of kids there to come and referee and do that this year, which I think is good for them, and it's good for the kids that get to see them and maybe see them play basketball on the high school level. So, and we're paying, we pay them $20 a game to do that. So they're making pretty good money on a weekend when they're there all day. So, but that's what you got to do to get people to do it. It's crazy, but
I remember babysitting for $3
yeah.
an hour.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I used to babysit
And-
for a quarter.
Thinking about numbers, I did a little personal research a few months ago about how many kids are, and in the Clear Creek School District, there are 3,400 students that have a North Liberty address. And in the Iowa City school system, there's about 6,300 kids that have a North Liberty address. So that's almost 10,000 school-age kids. So you think about the numbers we're trying to serve, plus the preschoolers, So that, I was astonished by that number too. But that's
This is the
when
baby boom town.
Yeah.
Think about the population
And
of
what
this town.
you go on the
It's a
website.
fertile
Look at
town.
10,000
Yeah, 10,
citizen swipe there with just those kids.
you look on the website, I think it says what average age in North Liberty is 30.5, I think, if you go on.
You mean my age?
Yeah. Some of us bring the average up,
Yeah,
that's it. But we realize when we're talking about youth programs, the numbers that are out there are astonishing. So we think about even the facility we have, and I know you've thought about in the future for pools and gyms and, what are we going to be? I don't think it's going to change a whole lot here, but appreciate everything that's being done. And if you don't, I go down to the rec center quite often. I try to vary it at times, so I kind of see what's going on. It's really great to go down there and see the activity of all ages. So I encourage, if you just go down and walk the track a few laps, that's just go down there and check it out. So
we work a lot harder when he's there too.
Yeah.
We know he's watching us. So.
I'm there watching. Yeah. It's great.
That's not what
Pre-
he told us.
And appreciate the new bike and equipment that is down there for us older generation, I guess you'd say. But I think some of the stuff's pretty modern. I haven't even tried that ladder yet that I see the young people having
Gotta
trouble
try that.
with.
It's got a safety thing on it. If you fall off,
Yeah.
So wait, what is this, like an automated ladder?
it's like it's called a Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
It's called the
Just keep
Jacob's
on
ladder.
going,
Yep.
you never
I've
go
not seen
anywhere?
anybody master it. I don't think.
Yep.
5 minutes. and it's
Somebody
like,
tries it and they're done. They're done.
Kind of interesting.
Okay, thanks, Shelley. Anything, other questions or comments?
I got a few other things. We have the brochure
That's right.
stuff coming that we're starting to turn into Shelley, so we're going to start turning that stuff in for the summer. So that's crazy. We have a field baseball lottery next Wednesday at the rec center, which
Mhm.
basically is we get bingo balls out. Everybody that comes get us a bingo ball, and that's their number that they get in the draft. And then usually it's around 46 to 50 people come to that. Coralville had theirs on Wednesday, and I usually wait till they're done. So people don't need as many fields because we only have the 2 fields that we rent out. So that's kind of going on. I put a thing out there for an intern for trying to get an intern at the rec center. I haven't had a lot of luck. It's kind of like guys talking about with trying to get people to come and do things and do that stuff. So that is on the IPRA site and it's out there. We have ice fishing on Saturday if the weather holds. It's cold tomorrow, but then Saturday it's supposed to be like 45 or something like that. So we got that. And then the chili suppers on Saturday as well at the rec center. And the last thing I have is Kyle Huseman, which has worked for the city at the rec department for 15 and a half years, resigned the other day. He's still staying on till the end of March, but he teaches all of our Pee Wee programs. He supervises men's league, youth leagues on the weekends. So he's been there a long time. He started part-time and then he went full-time, and yeah, he's been with us for a long time, and he's making a change in his life and leaving the rec center and going to kind of start his own business and do that. He's been kind of doing it already, but I think he's getting busier and busier and wants to go out on his own and not work for someone. So
That's good.
For those of us who are fans, what's his new business?
K&H Lawn Care. So he's going to
okay.
do mowing and any kind of landscaping.
Landscaping, and also
He'll move snow in
move
this
snow
winter
and-
time, and he has quite a few clients already that he kind of started doing last year, and it's just I think it was going to be too overwhelming to do his real job and then do this. It was a side gig, and now it's turned into more than that. So, but
What,
yeah, so
for anyone that might be interested in his position,
Mhm.
what are his hours?
they kind of they kind of
Or do
fluctuate.
they vary?
It
do
kind
they
of
vary according
fluctuates
to
throughout the
needs?
year.
Okay.
Actually, we're kind of tweaking his job description and some of the job duties and stuff like that. So I met with a couple other the supervisors the other day on this to try to come up with what do we need at the rec center that maybe that position however long ago that we installed it. How can we change it or switch it up? And
15 and a half years ago
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Kyle started.
so we kind of sat down and came up with a job description and tweaked it how we thought. We kind of tweaked it more towards programming and doing more programming than anything, and kind of maybe getting a staff under them to help with some of the kids programs and stuff like that, because he taught the Pee Wee programs, but there's only one of him, and he can only do it. He only did it on Wednesdays, and it was just kind of a day that worked out. And it's very popular, and people are probably crushed right now if they're watching
Yeah, I was
this.
going to say, I had a kid in his program, so I was
Yeah.
hoping you were saying his business was going to be like corralling kids in a new venue.
No.
Because he was
So,
very patient,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
they required lots. He
Yeah.
required lots of patience.
Yep, and he did it all. I mean, most of the time he did it on his own. There wasn't anybody helping him do that. Normally it was around 12 kids that he had to kind of corral, but he's had so many, and they're
So many
brothers
for
and sisters,
For
and
15 years, he's
Yeah.
been doing it. And so Coach Kyle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you hear that all the time.
we have people come from
And
Iowa
like-
City and everything. So I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I wish him luck, and he's been great, for me and helping out with everything, and he knows everything going on at the rec center and faces of people either getting in trouble or good people, and he knows everybody. So it'll be a tough
Tough field,
replacement.
yeah.
Yeah. I figured I'd be gone before he would, but apparently not.
Wish him well. Well, you know,
Yes, yep.
long-term staff, some long-term staff turnover.
Yeah.
But move forward the best you can.
Is that a full-time position?
It
Yes.
is. Yep.
So it is a full-time position.
And like I said, we've tweaked the job description. It's in Shelley's hands now. And then after that, we'll take it to Deb and she'll have to score it and see if it stays in the same pay range or goes up or down or whatever. But we'll probably know that next couple weeks. So
So yeah, after filling the custodial, then we'll move to that
Yeah.
position, which I'll probably, I mean, this position mainly works with Brian with a lot of our leaks and stuff. So Brian will probably make the decisions regarding that position coming up. So
and I'll probably have myself and Matt Messick because Matt Messick is kind of the office he has to this person she has to share with. So I would kind of like his input on because he's gonna have to sit there with them, you know, when they both work at the same time. So I figure I might as well let him help out in that process. So
Good luck.
Well, thank you
Okay.
for all of his service to the community.
Mhm.
I know the parents in North Liberty really appreciate
Yep.
him.
That's good. Good to hear. Good things. So, thank you, Ryan. Well, Tim, we always leave you out. You got anything to add tonight? Come on. Don't you have some skinny on guy or something you can share with us?
I just know they always look better than Shelley and I don't know. They always have the nice looking shirts.
Maybe do you take the pictures or you make the pictures?
Some of them.
So there, give Tim credit for the pictures. There we go. Thanks.
Yep.
Anything else to come before the group? If not, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
I will
Second.
second.
Any objection to adjourning? Meeting adjourned. I think our next meeting is March 2nd because
Oh, I will not be here for that meeting. I
Unacceptable.
will be in California.
Oh.
Thinking of all of you. That time.
We could zoom you in.
Yeah, I'll
You're
see
not
that.
good.
We're working
You're
some-
good.
Yes.
Participate
Maybe you ought
still.
to put on a weekend.
Where are you headed?
You're like, nope. Actually, I'm indisposed.
Well, I mean, we already have weekend
I
crews.
guess it
there's
is.
no way.
They maintain the wall.